My name is Helen. I'm 68 years old, just an ordinary grandmother.
When I stepped off the bus, the air felt different. It was a May afternoon in a Virginia gated community. The lawn was trimmed like a golf course, trees lined up in perfect rows. The air smelled like the perfume floor at Nordstrom. The smell of money. It was a different world from where I live. I live in a 2-story apartment in Queens, New York. The stair railing creaks, and you can smell your neighbor's dinner in the hallway. It's a good place. A place that smells alive. I was carrying a cloth bag. Inside were homemade chili oil and sesame oil. My daughter's favorites. She'd been eating her bibimbap with my oils since she was little. When I stood in front of Emily's house, I found myself catching my breath. White exterior with black trimmed windows, manicured rose bushes, stone steps. It looked like a magazine cover, not a house. I felt proud that my daughter lived in a place like this, but it also felt foreign. I rang the doorbell. The door opened. Emily stood there. Mom. She looked elegant. Beige blouse with black slacks, a pearl necklace around her neck. But her eyes were dark. There was a shadow there, as if something was pressing down on her. When we hugged, my daughter's body felt too light. Have you lost weight? I've been doing Pilates lately. Her voice was bright. Too bright. I entered the living room. The marble floor reflected the sunlight. White sofa, glass table, abstract paintings on the walls, not a speck of dust anywhere. So clean it didn't seem like anyone lived here. Wow, it's really beautiful. I meant it. But somehow it felt hard to breathe. I did some cleaning since you were coming. No, it's already perfect. That's when I heard footsteps on the stairs. My son-in-law Jason came down. His shirt was pressed without a single wrinkle, not a hair out of place. He smiled and extended his hand. Mother-in-law, you must be tired from the trip. I shook his hand. It was cold. No, I'm fine. The bus was comfortable. Jason's gaze moved to the cloth bag in my hand. What did you bring this time? Oh, I brought some oils. Emily's favorites. I held out the bag. Jason took it with a smile. A perfect smile. But his eyes weren't smiling. We have everything we need, Mother. Next time, just bring yourself. His voice was soft, but I could feel something hard underneath, like a boundary line. But Mom's homemade. Emily started to say, then stopped. Jason looked at her, just for a moment. But my daughter closed her mouth. We appreciate it. Jason took the bag and went to the kitchen. Emily took my arm. Sit down, Mom. I'll make some tea. I sat on the sofa. It was too hard, like a decorative piece. I looked around at the walls. Picture frames hung on one wall. Emily and Jason's wedding photo. My grandson Owen's first birthday picture. And there was my photo too. One we took together 5 years ago when Emily moved here. Why would they hang my picture? I wondered briefly. Emily came with tea. White porcelain cups. Gold-plated handles. Thank you. I took a sip. Earl Grey. My daughter used to love green tea. How have you been? Good. Owen's doing well in school too. And Jason? Busy. Lots of work at the company. Her answer was short. Emily reached for her cup and her sleeve slid up. That's when I saw it. A round bruise on her wrist. Yellowed. A few days old. My heart sank. What happened there? I pointed to her wrist. Emily quickly pulled down her sleeve. Oh, this. I bumped into a kitchen cabinet. When I was closing the door, she smiled, but her eyes avoided mine. Did you see a doctor? I'm fine, Mom, it's nothing. I said nothing. I've lived 68 years. Raised a daughter, lost a husband, worked alone in restaurants. I've lived long enough to know the difference between a bruise from furniture and a bruise from fingers. That bruise was from fingers, Emily. I called quietly. Yes? My daughter looked at me. There was fear in her eyes, fear that I might ask more. Jason's footsteps sounded again, going upstairs. Let's talk later, I whispered. Emily shook her head. Very slightly. That night when I lay in bed, I stared at the ceiling. The guest room was clean. White comforter, lavender-scented pillows. Everything was perfect. But something was wrong. My daughter's wrist, her too bright voice, Jason's cold hands. The tension that pervaded this entire house. Something was hidden here. I didn't know what it was yet, but my old instincts whispered, be careful. Keep watching. Somewhere in this house, there's a secret. The next morning was quiet. Jason left early for work. Emily went to take Owen to school. I sat alone in the kitchen drinking coffee. Outside the window, I could see the garden. Sprinklers watered the lawn. Regular, mechanical movements. My hands wrapped around the mug. It was warm, but my mind was uneasy. My daughter's wrist kept haunting me. I had to do something, but I didn't know what. In the afternoon, Emily returned. Mom, did you eat lunch? Yeah, I had some toast. That's all. Let me make you something proper. It's okay. I want to talk with you. Emily's hands stopped. About what? I pulled out a kitchen chair, gestured to my daughter. Sit down. Emily slowly came and sat. Her gaze was fixed on the table. Emily, I started carefully. I don't want to interfere too much, but I'm asking because I'm your mother. Are things okay between you and Jason? Emily looked up, surprised. What are you talking about? Of course they're okay. Then what about your wrist? Silence fell. Emily looked down at her sleeve. The bruise was covered. I told you. The cabinet. Emily. I called firmly. I'm not a fool. I know how that happened. My daughter's eyes wavered. Who did it? No one did it. Her voice trembled. Did Jason do that? No. Emily shot up from her chair. Jason isn't like that. You're misunderstanding. Then what am I misunderstanding? Jason. He's under a lot of stress. Work is hard. Sometimes by accident. Her words trailed off. My heart ached. There's no such thing as accidentally hurting someone. Emily. You don't understand. Emily's voice became sharp. How important this house is, this life. Owen's school, my position, it's all connected. You can't just judge like that. But if my daughter is getting hurt, please. Emily cut me off. Just pretend nothing happened. If you keep doing this, it'll only get more complicated. My daughter left the kitchen. Her footsteps went up the stairs. I was left alone. The coffee had gone cold. That evening, I went to put Owen to bed. My grandson was 6 years old. A child with big eyes and soft brown hair. Grandma, read me a book. Sure. What should we read? The dinosaur book. We lay on the bed together and opened the book. A picture of a roaring Tyrannosaurus appeared. Owen pointed at the picture with his finger and laughed. After finishing the book, I turned off the light. Only a small night light remained. Good night, Owen. I kissed his forehead. As I started to get up, Owen grabbed my hand. Grandma. Yes? I like your picture. What picture? The one in the living room. You and Mommy together. Oh, that one. Thank you. Daddy says. Owen's voice slowed. drowsy. Your picture has to stay right there. Why? Or the robots will forget. Blue first. A chill ran down my spine. Robots? What robots? Secret robots. Blue comes first. Blue. Owen's eyes closed. His breathing became steady. Owen. I shook him. But the child was already asleep. I left the room. The hallway was dark. Blue first. Robots. Why would a child say such things? Why would my picture's position matter? I went down to the living room. Looked at the frame on the wall, where my picture hung. I approached closer, reached out and touched the frame's edge. An ordinary frame. But something felt off. The sound of the front door opening. It was Jason. He staggered in. He smelled of alcohol. His tie was loose. Several shirt buttons undone. He saw me and narrowed his eyes. Mother. Still awake? Yeah. I was putting Owen to bed. I see. He stumbled toward the stairs. His phone rang from his pocket. Jason answered. Yeah. His voice was low, angry. I told you how many times. Don't be late. The call continued as he climbed the stairs. You know what happens if you miss the deadline. We're all done then. His voice grew fainter. Going up to the second floor, a door slammed. My heart was racing. Deadline. Being done. A deadline for what? I returned to the bedroom, sat on the bed, clasped my hands together. My daughter told me to stay out of it, not to complicate things unnecessarily. But my grandson said strange things. Robots. Blue. My picture. My son-in-law came home late drunk and spoke threatening words to someone. Something was wrong, very wrong. I was just a grandmother, an ordinary old woman from Queens. Not a cop, not a detective. But I'd learned one thing raising my daughter. A mother, a grandmother, must protect her family, even if that family doesn't want it. Outside the window was dark. The streetlights of the gated community glowed coldly. I made a decision not to stay still, to find out what was happening in this house, even if I had to do it alone. The next day morning, an opportunity came. Jason left for work at 8. Emily said she'd take Owen to school and then go grocery shopping. It'll take about an hour, Mom. Take your time. I'll rest at home. The front door closed. The car sound faded away. I was alone. I stood up. My heart beat fast. I didn't know what I should look for, but I had to look. I went to the living room, stood in front of my picture on the wall, looked at the frame, or the robots will forget. Owen's voice echoed in my ears. I reached out, grabbed the frame's edge, lifted it slightly. That's when it happened. My hand slipped. The frame fell to the floor. Crash. No sound of breaking glass, fortunately. I picked up the frame. It was fine. As I was about to hang it back, I stopped. The wall looked strange. I approached closer and examined it. The wallpaper's sheen made it hard to see, but in the light I could see it. Lines thin as hair, forming a perfect square. I traced them with my finger. There was a gap, a very small gap. It wasn't a wall, it was a door. I couldn't breathe. Who hides a door in the middle of a wall? Who hangs a family photo over it? Someone hiding something. I hung the frame back. My hands were shaking. I had to calm down. I didn't have much time. Emily said she'd be back within an hour. I went upstairs, opened Jason's study door. It was neat, only a monitor and pen holder on the desk. I opened the drawers. Documents, company papers it seemed. I couldn't understand them when I read them. I looked at the shredder next to the desk, peered inside. It was full of paper scraps, colorful papers. I picked up a blue piece. Part of a number was visible. B2847, a red piece. R9103, a yellow piece. Y5624, a green piece. G7291, blue, red, yellow, green. The colors Owen mentioned. My hands went cold. This wasn't a coincidence. I went into the hallway, headed to Owen's room. The child's room was bright. Dinosaur posters on the walls. Lego pieces scattered on the floor. But something was strange. Too clean for a 6-year-old's room. I examined the bookshelf. Picture books arranged by size. Opened the desk drawer. Crayons, colored pencils, notebooks. Looked at the desk. There was a red piggy bank. I picked it up. Heavy. Much heavier than coins. I shook it. No sound. I looked at the slot. Sealed. Taped shut. Why seal a child's piggy bank? It meant something other than money was inside. I put the piggy bank down. Placed it exactly where it was. Came down the stairs. Passing through the first floor hallway, I stopped. There was a small door at the end of the hall, like a closet. I opened it. Cleaning supplies, vacuum cleaner, mops, detergent. I checked the back. A box on the shelf. I took it down and opened it. Receipts. Restaurants, gas stations, markets. Ordinary. But at the bottom was an envelope. I took it out. A photograph. Jason shaking hands with a stranger. The background looked like a hotel lobby. I flipped it over. A note was written on it. J.K. Grand Cayman, Deck 2023. The Cayman Islands, famous as a tax haven. Why hide this photo? A car sound. The garage door opening. Emily was back. I hurried to put the photo in the envelope, back in the box. Put it on the shelf and closed the door. Went to the living room. Sat on the sofa. Took a deep breath. The front door opened. Mom, I'm back from shopping. Good. Thank you. Emily went to the kitchen with grocery bags. I sat there. My hands were trembling. I placed them on my knees. The hidden door in the wall. Code scraps with colors. A sealed piggy bank. A Cayman Islands photo. I didn't know exactly what these meant. But one thing was certain. Jason was hiding something. Something illegal. Something dangerous. And my daughter and grandson were in the middle of it. That night I couldn't sleep. Stared at the ceiling and thought, should I report to the police? But what would I say? That there's a strange door in the wall and paper scraps? I had no evidence. Should I tell Emily? But my daughter already wouldn't listen to me. I was alone, a simple grandmother alone facing this enormous secret. Outside the window was dark. The street lights glowed coldly. I knew there was no going back. I'd already seen too much. Now I had to go all the way. That night, I waited. It was past 11. The house was quiet. I got out of bed and opened the door slightly. The hallway was dark. Only the night lights glowed dimly. Light seeped from Jason's room. I went down the stairs. Kept my footsteps quiet. Stood in the living room. Looked at the wall. The wall with the hidden door. Footsteps sounded upstairs. I held my breath. It was Jason. The sound of him coming down the stairs. I quickly hid behind the sofa. My heart felt like it would burst. Jason entered the living room. He didn't turn on the lights. Only moonlight came through the windows. His silhouette stood in front of the wall. He reached out. Click. A small sound, but clear. The panel pushed inward. The wall opened. A hidden door. Behind it was a safe with a keypad and fingerprint reader. Jason pressed numbers. Beep, 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 beep 4 times. Blue, red, yellow, green, 4 colors. Jason placed his finger on the fingerprint reader. Click. The safe opened. I couldn't see inside. The angle was wrong. Jason took something out. Looked like a stack of documents. Closed the safe again. Pushed the panel in. The wall became flat again. Jason turned and went to the stairs. His footsteps faded. I came out from behind the sofa. My legs were shaking. But I'd seen it. A 4-digit code. In color order. But it needed a fingerprint. I couldn't open it. The next afternoon, I made a decision. I found Emily. She was in the kitchen. Emily. What, Mom? We need to talk. Again? Mom, please. Listen. I have to. I sat my daughter at the table, sat across from her. Emily. I saw something strange. What are you talking about? In the living room wall. There's a hidden door. Emily's face hardened. What did you? And I saw strange paper scraps in Jason's study with codes by color. Owen's piggy bank is strange too. Mom. Emily covered her face with her hands. Please stop. Emily. Something's wrong. Jason is what? A sharp voice. It wasn't Emily. I turned around. Jason was standing there. I didn't know when he'd come in. There was a smile on his face, but his eyes were cold. Mother-in-law. I heard what you were saying, Jason. Did you go through my study? His voice was low, threatening. No. It's not. You investigated the living room wall? He took a step closer. You went into Emily's room too? I was just worried. I understand. Jason pulled out a chair and sat too close. Mother-in-law. Have you ever heard of delusional disorder? What? It's a symptom that sometimes appears in elderly people. You see things that aren't there. Make strange interpretations. I'm not crazy. Of course not. But when you're under a lot of stress. Jason, stop it. Emily spoke. Her voice trembled. I'm fine, Emily. Jason turned his head to look at Emily. Honey, Mother seems tired. She should go home. Jason, I'll book a ticket for her. Tomorrow morning bus. It was a command. I'm not going. My voice came out. Jason slowly turned his head. What did you say? I said I'm not going. I can't leave my grandson. Mother-in-law. Jason smiled. A chilling smile. It's not a choice. Jason. Emily jumped up. Why are you doing this? Why are you talking to my mother like this? There's something you don't know. Jason stood up, looked down at Emily. Your mother has been going around our house, searching through things. My study, Owen's room, even the closet. Mom, Emily looked at me with disappointed eyes. Emily. Listen, I was worried about you. I can't believe this. You searched our house? Secretly? Daughter, Jason is hiding something. Stop it. Emily shouted. You've disliked Jason from the start. You opposed our marriage too. That's not it. It is. You hate that I'm happy. It felt like my heart was tearing. Emily, go home. Mom, don't come back. My daughter went upstairs. The door slammed. I was left alone with Jason. He looked down at me. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock bus. I'll drive you to the station. I'm not going. Mother-in-law. Jason bent down, whispered in my ear. Whatever you saw, telling anyone won't help. You have no evidence. And if you call the police. His breath touched my ear. Emily and Owen might get hurt. I froze. Are you threatening me? Just advice. Jason stood up. Rest well, Mother-in-law. See you tomorrow morning. He went upstairs. I was left alone in the kitchen. My hands were shaking. My knees were trembling. I sank into the chair. My daughter hated me. My son-in-law threatened me. I had no evidence. I was alone. Completely alone. But I couldn't give up. Owen's face came to mind. His small voice whispering as he fell asleep. The bruise on my daughter's wrist. Jason's cold threat. I was a grandmother. Weak, old. But grandmothers don't give up when it comes to protecting family. The night deepened. I sat there, thinking, looking for one last chance. I woke at 5 a.m. Outside the window was still dark. Only the street lights glowed coldly. I had 3 hours left. The 8 o'clock bus. The time Jason would send me away. But I wasn't going. I dressed quietly, made the bed, packed my bag. Everything had to look normal. I went into the hallway, stood in front of Owen's room, opened the door slightly. The child was sleeping, his small chest rising and falling regularly. I entered the room, knelt by the bed. "Owen," I whispered. The child opened his eyes, looked at me with sleepy eyes. "Grandma, shh, we have to be quiet." "Why? Want to play a game with Grandma?" Owen nodded. "It's a treasure hunt game. Remember what Grandma told you about yesterday? The blue ocean?" "That's right. Smart boy." I stroked the child's head. "To find the treasure, you have to remember the order. Blue ocean first, then what?" Owen's eyes sparkled. "Red starfish. And then yellow submarine and green seaweed cave." "Excellent. And what did the robots say?" "If you remember the order, they'll open the door," the child said proudly. My heart ached that such an innocent child was trapped in adults' secrets. "Thank you, Owen." "Go back to sleep." I kissed his forehead. "Where are you going, Grandma?" "Just for a moment." "Will you come back?" "Promise." It was a promise. I left the room, went down the stairs, through the living room, opened the front door, closed it quietly. The dawn air was cold and fresh. I left the gate and walked 1 block, 2 blocks. A small park appeared. I sat on a bench and took out my phone. Pressed 911. The dial tone rang. 911. "What's your emergency?" I steadied my breath and spoke. "My name is Helen Grant. I have information to report." "Go ahead." 47 Meadowbrook Gate Community, Virginia. "There's a hidden safe in the living room wall. There's likely evidence of wire fraud." "How do you know this?" "I saw it myself. The code is 4 digits. And there's a red piggy bank in the child's room with external hard drives inside." "What's your relationship to the person?" "He's my son-in-law, Jason Miller. He'll go to work today." "You need to go before then." "Understood." "Can you be at the scene?" "Yes." "I'll return within an hour." I hung up. My hands were trembling. I'd done it, crossed a line I couldn't uncross. The sky was brightening. The east was turning orange. I walked back to the house, sat in the living room and waited. At 7:30, Jason came down the stairs. He saw me and narrowed his eyes. "Up early. Couldn't sleep." "I see." "Ready?" "Not yet." "Hurry up. It's the 8 o'clock bus." I looked out the window. 2 unmarked black cars were parked by the gate. They'd come. The doorbell rang. Jason opened the door. Men in suits stood there. "Jason Miller?" "Yes. But," a badge flashed. "FBI." "We have a warrant." Jason's face went white. The men came inside. 6 of them. "What "What are you doing? Is Helen Grant here?" an agent asked. I stood up. "I'm the one who called." Jason turned to look at me, murder in his eyes. "You." The living room wall. "There's a hidden panel behind my picture." The agents moved. One removed the frame, pressed the wall, click. The panel opened. "Try the code," I said. "Blue, red, yellow, green." One digit per color. A tech agent pressed the numbers. "Beep, beep, beep, beep." "Fingerprint required." The agent looked at Jason. "Your hand." "The warrant." "We have a forced collection warrant too." They placed Jason's finger on the reader. Click. The safe opened. I could see inside. Stacks of cash piled like bricks. Passports, documents, ledgers. "Bingo," the agent said. "There's also a red piggy bank in the upstairs child's room." Footsteps going upstairs. Emily was standing on the stairs in her pajamas. "What's happening?" Her voice trembled. Owen peeked out from behind Emily. "Mommy, I'm scared." I approached my grandson. Picked him up. "It's okay, Owen, Grandma's here." An agent came down from upstairs, holding the red piggy bank. "It's sealed." He broke it with a hammer. External hard drives spilled out. "Investor lists, offshore accounts, everything's here," the agent reported. Handcuffs were placed on Jason's wrists. "You're under arrest for wire fraud, money laundering, and document forgery." Jason looked at me, his eyes full of hatred. But I didn't look away. Looked straight at him. He was dragged out. Emily sank to the floor. I put Owen down and approached my daughter. Knelt down. Placed a hand on her back. "I'm sorry, Emily," my daughter cried silently. I didn't say anything, just stayed with her. 3 months passed. The news covered the case all week. The fraud totaled $30 million. Over 80 victims. Jason was sentenced to 15 years. We left that house. Left the marble floors and white sofas behind. Now we live in my apartment. The 2-story apartment in Queens. The stairs creak and you smell neighbors. Dinners in the hallway. Small but warm. Emily started working at a nearby cafe. Sold her pearl necklace. Now she wears jeans and sneakers. At first it was hard. She cried every night. But as time passed, life returned to my daughter's eyes. "Mom." "Yesterday evening," Emily said. "Thank you." "For what?" "For saving me. For seeing what I couldn't see." I held her hand. "Because I'm your mother." Owen doesn't talk in his sleep anymore. Sleeps peacefully every night. He brought home a dinosaur drawing from school. A Tyrannosaurus. "Grandma, can I hang this in your room?" "Of course." We hung it on the wall with tape. This time there's nothing behind it, just a wall. This morning, I sat by the window drinking coffee. The sunlight was warm. Children's laughter could be heard from the street. An ordinary morning. Not perfect, but real. People sometimes ask if I'm proud. I say, no, I'm not a hero, just a grandmother. But I know one thing. The scariest thing wasn't the money or the crime. It was the silence. The silence hiding behind beautiful walls, pretending everything was fine. If you feel something's wrong in your house, believe the bruise, believe the whisper, and if you need to make the call, make it. You're not alone. Never. Outside the window, Emily was walking with Owen, holding hands. My daughter was smiling, a real smile. That was enough. I'm Helen, just an ordinary grandmother. But sometimes, ordinary people are most brave when protecting family.